Hello, this is Wmpyr, here to talk about boxing versus fencing. Now, I'm not really talking about boxing versus fencing. It's, as it says underneath, it's about understanding the difference between knife boxing and knife fencing. So that's my real interest here. And, this is a perspective. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about right now is I don't want you guys to view it as fact. I understand that it is simply a perspective, and I'm going to view this perspective as a tool. Why? Because a tool is something that you're going to use to benefit you. It's to help you out. And that's the whole purpose. I'm not here to argue that what I'm saying is fact or fiction. It has nothing to do with that. So the saying, the glass is half full or half empty. Does it matter which one is the truth? No. You're using a perspective to help you in an instance. So if you're the type of person that the glass is half empty, therefore that's going to make you more pumped up. That's going to make you go, oh crap, it's on. I better get my act straight. Well, then the glass is half empty for you. But if you have the personality type, or just at the moment, it feels better for you to be, no, the glass is half full. And therefore, you could calm down, you could perform better, you're more at ease that way, you're not sweating it, then definitely in your case, the glass is going to be half full. So it's not about which one is right or wrong, it's about which perspective is going to benefit you. So that's the same thing right here. So I want you guys to understand that, okay? I'm just using this perspective. So what I mean by that in this example here is we see the nature of boxing as an exchange of blows, okay? So right there, I'm saying that in this case, the perspective is at the end of the day, boxing is a slugfest. You're going to punch the guy and they're going to punch you. It's good. It's a brawl. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And that perspective, like I said, it may not be completely right, but that's not what I'm here to do. Okay, I'm not here to argue about that. Okay, it's just using that to my benefit, and I'll show you how I'm going to use that to my benefit. But we're going to see boxing as an exchange. Okay, now and immediately after that, you can see that I say that doesn't mean that there aren't technical boxers, that technical boxers that do the sweet science of boxing, which is to hit the other person without getting hit yourself. That is the sweet science of boxing. And there's some amazing defensive boxers out there as proof that that is possible. However, I want you guys to understand that even in the world of boxing, that is extremely difficult to do. In fact, it's so difficult to do that when you do see a boxer, or we could even say a fighter, who has amazing defensive skills, all right, then you're going to take notice. Why? Why do you take notice? Because it's rare, because it's difficult. When you see someone like Anderson Silva in the UFC, and he just lowers his arms and he's dodging your shots, you're going to go, wow, okay, yes, I know he messed up once and it cost him a match. Yes. However, how many times did he pull it off and get away with? How many times did he dominate doing that? So, people like to look at that one mistake and go, see. No, the fact that he even does that at all is insane. Right? Why? Because the playground is boxing, and in boxing, I don't mean to be disrespectful by calling it a playground, but in that playground, it's just natural for an exchange to occur, a trade-off, okay, a slugfest. That's why when you get two people who don't know how to box, give them boxing gloves and they backyard fight, that's what happens because it's natural. That's the nature of boxing. Okay, so then the next part is the root of fencing as a game of tag. Okay, now I'm saying the root of fencing because today's Olympic fencing has changed into its own thing. It's moved away from what it originally was, and I just not too long ago read a fencing book, a manual on Olympic fencing, and the head instructor in the book he said that this is no longer for combat. This is a sport. Okay, fencing is fencing. Don't think that you do fencing and you're gonna use that the way it is in Olympic fencing for combat. He said no, it's that don't fly anymore. It's changed too much. That's what he said. And I can understand that. That makes sense to me. I'm not an expert fencer by any means, but that makes sense to me. So, but I'm talking about historical, the root of fencing. Okay, the root of fencing is it just makes sense that you can't do what the boxers do, which is an exchange. You can't do that with swords. Okay, why? Because they don't have armor. They don't wear armor anymore, all right? Back before that kind of fencing, sword fighting, they wore armor. So you could fight more like the boxers. But a new era came to where they didn't wear armor anymore. Why? Why did they throw away their armor? Because back then, originally, it was the battlefield. It was warring times. It was kingdoms, kingdom versus kingdom. They were trying to establish an establishment. And then eventually that came to an end. Conquerors conquered. And so now we have a country. Now we have cities. So it went from battlefield life to city life. And in cities, you're not going to wear armor. It's just inconvenient. And there's no need for it. So the armors got thrown away. However, the violence still stayed. Why? Because people are people. There are people that, there are bandits. So you still needed to defend yourself. So that's why the sword changed into the lighter, faster swords. There's no armor, because it's now more for city life. So anyway, that's the kind of fencing that I'm talking about. And really what it comes down to is the bottom sentence where I'm saying, in the street, however, survival is how you win. So it's not about dominating. It's not about who lands the better shot. It's not about who is the better boxer or who is the better fencer. It has nothing to do with that. It's about surviving, okay? Therefore, tag skills are more valuable than exchange skills, okay, if that makes sense. Because surviving, the longer that I'm untouched, the better, okay? I could risk it and go in. And then when I go in, I might be able to get some really good shots in, but I'm risking it. And when I'm risking it like that, that's not my goal. That has nothing to do with survival, So you want to understand that in this scenario. Now, are there exceptions to that? Yes, 100%. There's always exceptions. Okay, that's what makes it so interesting. And that's why in Escrima we study both boxing and fencing. So I'm not here to say boxing is not as good as fencing or anything like that. Okay, like I said, this is just a perspective to help me understand what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, and how to do what I do better for self-defense. Okay, so the tag skills are more valuable than an exchange skills. So please keep that in mind. Oh, one last thing, because I've been watching a lot of prison shows. In prison, they don't let you play. They force you. They don't let you play the game of tag. They force you. They force you in Thunderdome, where now you have to do an exchange of blows. So just saying, because it is confined space. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.